Welcome to this episode of the Harpreet Singh Show. In today's segment, we're going to talk to two of our guests from Justice Institute of British Columbia, the President and CEO, Michelle Tarko, and also Mark Vandenberg, who's the Director, External Relations. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you. So let's talk a little bit about, if you can let us know about the history of JIBC and when was it started and what is its mandate?
Thank you. The JIBC originated in 1978 under the College and Institutes Act. So we've been a public post-secondary institution for over 30 years with a mandate to provide public safety training, education, and applied research.
Okay, it's been a long time. How many campuses do you have?
We have 6 campuses.
Wow.
Our main campus is New Westminster. Then we have campuses in Kelowna, Victoria, Chilliwack, Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows.
Okay, so
Yeah.
lots of
Yeah,
areas
lots.
which you are covering.
We do.
So what kind of services are being provided, basically, if you can let us know about that?
Yes, the training primarily is in the area of police training, correctional officer, sheriffs, paramedics, emergency managers, planners. I like to think of the JIBC as a place of learning where people come in to learn those entry-level skills, competencies to any of the public safety professions, and people can continue their lifelong learning through certificates, diplomas, undergraduate degrees, and in the last 3 years we moved into the graduate space. In terms of graduate certificates. They're in the areas of intelligence analysis, tactical crime analysis, and leadership.
Okay, so thousands and thousands of people have taken advantages of the
They have.
services.
But I really think we're a well-kept secret because I don't think people realize that we train every first responder in this province,
Right.
you know, as well as nationally. So it's
So as you said, basically the first responders who come to the site of an accident or any emergency, what is the duration of these courses and what are the criteria if anybody wants to do it? Any particular criteria set, or they ought to have some background, then only they can enter into this field?
Every program has different admission requirements.
Right.
It's not uncommon to require a minimum of grade 12 to apply like any other post-secondary institution. Some programs may require certain high school credits, if you will.
Right.
Anatomy and physiology, biology, that kind of thing if you're looking at a health science program. And I'm speaking about the paramedic program. But we're very similar to other institutes or colleges. However, our mandate is public safety. There are
Right.
3 provincial institutes in British Columbia, JIBC, NBIT, BCIT, and we have a provincial mandate to deliver programs throughout the province.
Okay.
So we don't have one region that a community college would focus on.
Right, okay.
The province is our region.
Okay.
we also train about 14,000 students online as well.
So the
which-
online courses
online
are also
courses
catering
as
to
well,
the
yeah.
things what you're talking about?
Exactly.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it can be
And-
face-to-face or online.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when we talk about the duration, of course, every field has separate durations, but generally, if you can just take a rough estimate, for example, a firefighter or a police officer or a sheriff, generally how much time does it
So
take?
like the LESD program, for instance.
The basic entrance
Yeah.
level program.
Yeah, basic entrance would vary anywhere from probably 8 weeks to possibly 12 weeks
Okay.
as a starting point.
Right.
And people would continue their training based on their interest in the kind of work that they would like to do.
Okay. So starting level is this, and then there are further courses to enhance the skills?
Correct.
That's right.
So we would offer 1-year certificates, 2-year diplomas, 4-year bachelors, depending on the person's interest in terms
Right.
of what kind of qualification they would like.
Uh-huh. And Mark, like you said, it's a hidden surprise, and you have everything, but many of the people don't know. Why do you think that has happened? Because being the first responders, everybody sees in case of an emergency, and they know who the people are, but they don't know from where they have got the training. Probably because they think it's quite highly sophisticated training what they are getting.
That's right. I don't think they realize that this training is done right in New Westminster, you know, at our main campus
Okay.
there. And I think the other misconception is that our institute is 100% funded by government agencies when it's not. That's why we have to rely on other fundraising to support the institute as well as
Okay.
tuition and government funding.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you talk about fundraising, of course,
Yeah.
then how are you able to meet your demands of the of your institute? So what do you do? Do you go out to people, ask for help, or how does it happen?
We do. The JBC Foundation was founded about 14 years ago, and their mandate is just to raise funds for the institute.
Okay.
They do an annual gala, which this year it will be held in November at the Hyatt Hotel, and that's our major event. Other than that, we do fundraising through direct mail, corporate sponsorship, corporate support.
Right.
We're just embarking on a 25 million capital campaign for research, student support programs, and research as well.
Okay, what kind of research, like what she's talking
Yeah.
about, what will be that research focusing upon?
Yeah, any research that happens at the Institute is applied research. So we're looking at real problems, whether or not they're faced by firefighters, police officers, correctional officers. Some examples, we have one research chair currently, her name is Dr. Laurie Pierce, and that's looking, it's a 4-year study looking at rural and remote resiliency in communities.
Okay,
And so looking at ways that communities can prepare to combat any natural disaster, be it a flood, a fire, forest fire,
okay.
any kind of devastation. So those are that's one example of one
Yeah.
of our major research projects currently.
Okay. Now, there are lots of courses which are being run by our institute. So also, what about the practical training? Because, of course, the theoretical training is given over there. So is it at the campus only that the practicum is also done, or is it somewhere else you do take them to the, like for example, a firefighter to a
Well,
separate place and do it there?
all the firefighting training, or the majority of it, is done at our Maple Ridge campus. That is actually set up as a small city, I
Right.
would say it is, where they can do their training there.
And what about the police officers? What kind of jobs can a person who wants to go into the police force, for example, a youngster who has
Yeah.
passed from grade 12 and he wants to go into the police force?
Yeah.
So can your institute help over there?
Well, what will happen is an applicant will apply to the municipal department that they're
Right.
interested in working for. All the screening will happen, and once they're accepted, they'll be sent to the JIBC,
Okay.
to our police academy. It's not. It's more common that a student applying would have 2 years of college at the institute or somewhere else.
Right.
In terms of maturity, it's not usual that somebody straight out of high school gets into the police academy.
Right.
So we offer a diploma in law enforcement studies. That's a 2-year program that helps students understand the complexity and the spectrum of law enforcement. We're offering for the first time this fall the law enforcement studies diploma in Victoria at our
Right.
Victoria campus.
Okay.
And so we're really looking to receive applications from diverse groups
Right.
on Vancouver Island who may be interested in studying in their local community versus coming to New Westminster.
Okay. What are the major challenges and achievements of this institute?
Challenges, again, I focus on money. I think lack of funding to do
Right.
all the things that we need to do. I think that's one of the challenges, and I think the
But the fees which you are charging from the students, is it not covering up everything?
no,
Okay.
that doesn't cover the equipment that we need to train these the students with.
Right.
So we have to make sure we've always got current equipment. But I think the achievements, when you look at what we've accomplished in the years since we were established, it's outstanding. It's, when you look at, we've trained, what is it, over
Well, we have an annual intake of approximately 27,000.
Yeah, about
27,000 every year.
Students.
every
year,
year.
headcount.
Wow.
Every year we
So
train.
that's the amount of students who come through
Wonderful.
the
And in
institute.
these years, if you count that, that's in thousands and millions, I would say, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and what are your future plans towards the end?
Well, I think looking to the future, a big part of what we're focusing on not only is ensuring that we meet the province needs around labor market demand in policing, in firefighters, correctional officers. We're also reaching out to the international community.
Yeah.
And so we're building capacity at the JI to accept more international students. We've been in Hong Kong for just over 20 years
Okay.
in terms of paramedic training. Paramedics, if you needed care in Hong Kong, you'd have the same level of care that you have here in Surrey
Okay.
or in Vancouver, the
Right.
same
Yeah.
standards. It's the JIBC curriculum that was taught originally, and we continue to work with Hong Kong Fire.
Wonderful.
We had a chance to work with be on the Premier's mission to India and to Asia. And so we're working with some groups in India right now to look at opportunities for students to come to Canada to study, and if they're satisfied with their experience, they may stay.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah,
good news
yeah.
for people. And also, one thing you forgot to tell me, that a lot of Indo-Canadians do come to your institute.
right.
As far as the permits, as far as the training for driving taxis is concerned. So let us
Oh.
know a little bit about that. Yeah.
Well, the taxi host program was started oh, how many years ago would that be? About
Early 90s.
early
Okay.
90s.
Yes.
So we train every taxi driver in British Columbia
Okay.
at our institute.
Right.
And they are now alumni of our institute through
Okay.
taking this program.
Wonderful. And towards the end, thousands of people who are watching the program, especially the South Asian people, what would
Yeah.
be your message to them?
I would invite people to consider the JIBC if you've not considered us as an option around public post-secondary education
Yeah.
in the areas of public safety and security as a career, as a profession.
Mhm.
We look to recruit students, but we also look to recruit staff and faculty. And so don't forget about us if you're thinking about opportunities to work within the public safety sector.
Yeah.
Thank you very much and best wishes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.